Thanksgiving Week 2025. While most families were preparing to celebrate together, one reality TV family was falling apart in the most public way possible. Divorce papers were filed, a restraining order was violated, and the son of a Real Housewives star remained locked behind bars, facing charges that would make your jaw drop. But this wasn't the first time, and the signs? They'd been there all along. On November 24th, just days before Thanksgiving, Alexiana Smokoff walked into a Utah courthouse with one mission: end her marriage to Robert Cosby Jr., the only son of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City star Mary Cosby. The timing wasn't random. Just 2 weeks earlier, Robert had been arrested again, this time for violating a protective order that Alexiana herself had filed against him. As the divorce petition hit the court system, Robert wasn't celebrating the holidays with family. He was sitting in Salt Lake County Jail, facing a list of charges that seemed to grow longer by the day: property damage, assault on a peace officer, interfering with law enforcement. And that was just the beginning. The marriage that Mary Cosby never wanted was officially over. But the real question everyone's asking is, how did it get this bad? And why didn't anyone see it coming? Well, some people did. Let's rewind to August 2022. Robert Cosby Jr. and Alexiana Smokoff walked into a courthouse in Utah and got married. No big ceremony, no family, no celebration, just two people and a marriage license. The problem? Robert never told his mother. For an entire year, Mary Cosby had no idea her son was married. When she finally found out during season 4 of RHOSLC, the confrontation was uncomfortable to watch. Robert admitted they'd been married since 2022. And not only that, but he and Alexiana had been living under Mary's roof the entire time. Rent-free, by the way. Mary's response was less than thrilled. She told cameras she had warned Robert that Alexiana wasn't the right woman for him. "You don't even understand what comes with that," Mary said. "That's like a lifestyle. Like, you have to be the provider," she told him straight up. "She's not your wife. Like, I can tell you, listen to your mom. She is not the woman you want to marry." But Robert didn't listen. He went ahead and married her anyway. And Mary? She was left dealing with the consequences, watching this relationship unfold inside her own home while she tried to keep the peace. Looking back now, the warning signs were flashing like neon lights. But Robert was determined to prove everyone wrong. And what came next would show just how wrong things could go. What viewers didn't know at the time was that Robert Jr. was fighting a battle that had nothing to do with his marriage and everything to do with what was happening inside his own head. In one of the most raw and emotional scenes ever filmed on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Robert sat down with his mother and confessed everything. According to police reports, he'd been struggling with multiple controlled substances, including hard narcotics and prescription medications. The extent of his chemical dependency was devastating. Mary broke down in the confessional, tears streaming down her face as she questioned herself. "I feel like I let him down," she said. "Where did I miss the signs?" But the signs had been there. Back in March 2022, police pulled Robert over for reckless driving. They watched him throw beer cans into a dumpster before they even approached his vehicle. When they questioned him, Robert denied drinking alcohol. But then he admitted something else. He had recently taken prescription pills and other substances. He failed the field sobriety tests. He didn't have a valid driver's license, and just like that, he was charged with driving under the influence. The court ordered him to complete substance treatment programs: 10 days of detox, 16 weeks of therapy, random testing for controlled substances. Robert completed some of it: 30 days of house arrest, the detox program, but when it came to the ongoing treatment and testing, he disappeared. In May 2024, court records revealed something chilling. Robert tested positive for multiple illicit compounds, including dangerous synthetic substances that have been taking lives across the country at alarming rates. The court labeled him non-compliant. Counselors reported they hadn't heard from him since June. Robert was spiraling, and everyone could see it. By summer 2024, Robert finally checked into an inpatient treatment facility in California. His attorney informed the judge he couldn't appear for a court hearing because he was seeking help. Mary posted cryptically on social media, using hashtags like "praying for the one I love." She knew her son was in trouble. She knew he needed help. But getting Robert to accept that help? that was a different story entirely. And while he was supposed to be focused on recovery, his relationship with Alexiana was about to take a dark and dangerous turn. September 6, 2025. Police in Salt Lake County responded to a domestic disturbance call. What they found when they arrived was almost too bizarre to believe. Robert Cosby Jr. was allegedly trying to break into his father-in-law's home by climbing through a dog door. Yes, you heard that right, a dog door. But it gets worse. According to police reports, before officers even arrived, there had been a volatile physical altercation on the front lawn. When police ordered him to get on the ground, Robert allegedly refused. He showed combative behavior. He didn't comply until officers made it clear he had no other choice. The charges came fast and heavy: criminal trespassing, battery, failure to stop at the command of law enforcement, and 3 separate counts of violating a court order. 3. That means this wasn't his first warning. The court had already told him to stay away. They'd already put restrictions in place. And Robert ignored every single one of them. What would drive someone to try and break into their in-laws' house through a dog door? Desperation, the kind that comes when you refuse to accept that something is over. Robert's attorney would later explain that Robert was slow to recognize that his marriage was over. But by September, Alexiana had made it crystal clear. She didn't want him around. She'd filed for protection. She'd moved back to her parents' house. And still, Robert showed up. Still, he couldn't let go. And that refusal to accept reality, it was about to cost him everything. I have to pause here for a second because the details of this arrest are genuinely shocking. If you're following this case and want us to keep digging into these court records, please hit that like button. And I have a serious question for you guys. Do you think Mary's tough love approach is actually working? Or do you think the family dynamic is the real reason Robert is spiraling? Let me know your honest opinion in the comments right now. Make sure you're subscribed, because as we get into the divorce filing next, you'll see exactly why Alexiana had no choice but to walk away. November 9th, 2025. Just 2 months after his September arrest, Robert Cosby Jr. made a decision that would land him back behind bars and seal the fate of his marriage. Alexiana's younger brother called their parents terrified. Robert was outside the house again. There were loud banging noises, crashing sounds. The family immediately checked their home security footage, and what they saw was disturbing. Robert was engaging in property destruction. He was throwing rocks. One of those rocks went straight through the front window of the house. The damage was extensive: broken glass, damaged siding, a luxury vehicle with dents and scratches. The financial loss? Over $5,000. When police arrived, Robert tried to run. He fled on foot, forcing officers to chase him down. And when they caught up to him, he showed extremely combative and non-compliant behavior. He physically resisted. He pulled away. And according to police reports, at one point during the struggle, Robert allegedly crossed physical boundaries with one of the responding officers in a way that escalated the situation significantly. Interfering with law enforcement is no small charge. It's a felony in many cases, and it shows just how out of control the situation had become. Body camera footage reportedly captured Robert admitting he knew about the protective orders. He knew he wasn't supposed to be there. He knew Alexiana didn't want to see him. He knew her family had made it clear he wasn't welcome, and he showed up anyway. The charges piled up. Violating a pretrial protective order, not once, but listed multiple times. Property damage and destruction with losses exceeding $5,000. Battery on a peace officer, failure to stop at the command of law enforcement, interfering with a peace officer, criminal trespassing. Robert was booked into Salt Lake County Jail on November 9th, and as of now, he's still there, still sitting behind bars, still facing the consequences of decisions he made when he refused to accept that his marriage was over. But the story doesn't end with his arrest. 2 weeks later, Alexiana made her move. November 24th, 2025. While Robert sat in jail, Alexiana Smokoff filed for divorce in Salt Lake County District Court. The petition she submitted wasn't just about ending a marriage. It was about protection, safety, creating legal boundaries that Robert had repeatedly shown he wouldn't respect on his own. The divorce documents, reviewed by media outlets, included strict requirements. Both parties are prohibited from harassing, intimidating, or disturbing the peace of the other party by any means, including electronically. No texts, no calls, no social media messages, no showing up unannounced. They're also prohibited from engaging in volatile behavior or creating hostile environments for each other or any children. They can't use each other's names, images, or identification to open accounts, get credit, or obtain services. They can't cancel or interfere with each other's phone service, utilities, or any other services. And neither party can terminate policies for health insurance, homeowners or renters insurance, automobile insurance, or life insurance. These aren't standard divorce terms. These are the terms you see when someone has serious safety concerns and needs protection from continued harassment and controlling behavior. The documents were filed under seal, which means the public can't access all the details. We don't know what Alexiana is asking for in terms of property division or spousal support. We don't know if there are additional allegations that haven't been made public. But what we do know is this. Alexiana felt she needed legal protection from the man she married just 3 years ago. The man who was supposed to be her partner, her protector, the father of any future children they might have had. Instead, he became someone she needed a restraining order against. Someone she needed the legal system to keep away from her and her family. And while Robert remains in jail, unable to contest the filing or even attend hearings, Alexiana is moving forward with her life. But there's one person watching all of this unfold who's caught in an impossible position. Mary Cosby has built a reputation on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City for being unapologetically herself. She's controversial, she's outspoken, she's been accused of running her church like a cult. But when it comes to her son, she's just a mother watching her child destroy his life. In an exclusive statement to People magazine, Mary said something that stunned fans. It was for his good, she said about Robert's September arrest. I think he needed that. He's never encountered anything like that. He's never been through anything like that. She admitted it hurt her at the time. She was devastated, worried, scared. But Mary also believed that sometimes things happen for a reason, to show you the path you're on. I feel like he needed that, and that he understands that that's the wrong journey, she explained. It's the kind of thing only a parent would say. The kind of desperate hope that maybe, just maybe, hitting rock bottom will finally be the wake-up call that changes everything. Mary had already shared Robert's substance struggles on camera during season 5 of RHOSLC. She broke down, talking about how he'd confessed to his chemical dependency issues, how she questioned where she'd gone wrong as a mother. On the RHOSLC after show, Mary opened up even more. Robert Sr., he tries to share with Robert Jr. his situation. Before his mom made him go through the army, he dealt with substance use too. I never had that to share with him. I can't see through his eyes. But I do understand him, and I don't judge him. She revealed that Robert Sr. had his own history with substances in his youth, which meant he could relate to what their son was going through in ways Mary couldn't. He does want to change, Mary said, and that's the only way it will work. But wanting to change and actually changing, those are two very different things. Mary had been enabling Robert in some ways. She admitted on camera that Robert wasn't in college. He wasn't working. He was living at home asking his mother for money regularly. I just feel like he's very sheltered, and I feel like that's my fault, Mary confessed. The helicopter mom, the enabler, the mother who loved her son so much she couldn't bring herself to let him face real consequences, until the consequences became impossible to ignore. Mary's decision to share their story on RHOSLC was intentional. She wanted other families dealing with substance struggles to know they weren't alone. She wanted to show that even wealthy families with resources face these challenges. She wanted to help, but now, with Robert sitting in jail and his marriage officially ending, you have to wonder, does Mary still think this was for his good? Or is she starting to realize that her son's problems run deeper than anyone wanted to admit? On November 25th, the day after Alexiana filed for divorce, Robert Cosby Jr. had a hearing scheduled. His attorney released a statement to People magazine that was careful, measured, and telling. Today, Robert Cosby took responsibility for the mistakes he has made and the pain he has caused his ex-wife and her family. The statement read, ex-wife. Even though the divorce hadn't been finalized yet, Robert's attorney was already referring to Alexiana in the past tense. The statement continued. Robert was slow to recognize that his marriage was over. He continued to make contact with his ex-wife in an effort to reconcile. He now realizes that the relationship is over and he must move on. Read between the lines of that statement. Slow to recognize is legal speak for refused to accept reality. Continued to make contact means he violated restraining orders and showed up when he wasn't supposed to. In an effort to reconcile suggests he genuinely believed he could fix things, even after everything that had happened. It's the statement of someone who was living in denial, someone who couldn't accept that his actions had destroyed any chance of salvaging the relationship. Before his November arrest, Robert had spoken to People magazine himself. "I'm taking this journey day by day," he said. "I'm not where I want to be, but I'm certainly not where I used to be. I will get there." There was hope in those words. Determination, a belief that he was on the right path, even if he hadn't reached his destination yet. But those words were spoken before he violated another restraining order, before he engaged in property destruction, before he threw rocks through windows, before he allegedly crossed physical boundaries with a police officer. "I will get there," Robert had said, but where he actually got was a jail cell. And now, as he sits behind bars facing multiple criminal charges, the question isn't whether he'll get there. The question is whether he'll ever truly accept responsibility for the pattern of behavior that destroyed his marriage, hurt his family, and landed him in jail multiple times. To understand how Robert Cosby Jr. ended up in this situation, you have to understand the family he comes from. And the Cosby family, they're complicated to say the least. Mary Cosby is one of the most controversial figures in Real Housewives history. She's married to her step-grandfather, Robert Cosby Sr., a man who was married to Mary's grandmother before she passed away. Mary's grandmother, known as Mama, left specific instructions in her will. Mary had to marry Robert Sr. in order to inherit the family's multi-million-dollar empire, including Faith Temple Pentecostal Church. So Mary did it. She married her step-grandfather, and she took over the church. But that's where things get even more complicated. Since season 1 of RHOSLC, Mary has faced allegations that Faith Temple operates less like a church and more like a cult. Former members have come forward with disturbing claims. They say Mary calls herself God. They say she demands expensive gifts from congregants who can barely afford them. They say she uses church funds to finance her luxury lifestyle while her followers struggle financially. In leaked audio from one of her sermons, Mary could be heard calling her congregation stingy and poor for not giving her enough birthday cards. Birthday cards from people who were giving her their hard-earned money. One former member, Cameron Williams, told RHOSLC cast member Lisa Barlow that he'd given the Cosbys around $300,000. He'd mortgaged his house because Mary told him to. Is it a cult? Yes, Cameron said. Does she call herself God? Yes. Cameron has since passed away, but his allegations, along with those of other former members, led to a 3-part TLC documentary called The Cult of the Real Housewife, set to premiere on January 1st, 2026. The documentary features interviews with former congregants, Mary's own family members who've left the church, and cult experts who explain the tactics used to control followers. This is the environment Robert Jr. grew up in, a household where boundaries were blurred, where manipulation was normalized, where his mother was accused of controlling people through fear and financial pressure. Is it any wonder that Robert struggled to understand healthy boundaries in his own relationships? That he couldn't accept when someone told him no? That he kept pushing, kept showing up, kept trying to control a situation that was already over? Robert Cosby Jr. is responsible for his own actions. But he's also a product of the dysfunction that surrounded him his entire life, the son of a woman accused of running a cult, the child of an unconventional marriage that raised eyebrows from the start, a young man who grew up watching his parents operate in ways that most people would consider manipulative and controlling. And now, he's repeating those same patterns, unable to let go, unable to accept boundaries, unable to see that his behavior is pushing away the very people he claims to love. As of right now, Robert Cosby Jr. remains incarcerated in Salt Lake County Jail. His court hearing happened, but his legal battles are far from over. His wife, Alexiana, has filed for divorce and is seeking legal protection from the man she once promised to spend her life with. Mary Cosby is watching her only son face consequences she hoped would never come. The pattern is clear. Robert violates orders, gets arrested, promises to change, then does it all over again. September's arrest should have been the wake-up call, but 2 months later, he was back at Alexiana's parents' house, causing damage, resisting arrest, and facing even more serious charges. His attorney says he's finally accepted that the marriage is over. But how many times have we heard that before? How many times has Robert said he understands, only to show up again where he's not wanted? The real question isn't whether Robert will get out of jail. He will, eventually. The question is, what happens when he does? Will this finally be his rock bottom? The moment that forces him to confront his addiction, his refusal to accept boundaries, and the pattern of behavior that's destroyed his marriage and his freedom? Or will there be another arrest? Another violation? Another family member who needs protection from someone who refuses to hear the word no? Mary said she believed Robert's first arrest was for his good, that he needed it to understand the path he was on. But now, setting in jail with a second arrest and a divorce filing, you have to wonder, how many wake-up calls does one person need before they finally wake up? For Alexiana, the answer is clear. She's done waiting. She's done hoping. She's done putting herself in danger for someone who repeatedly showed her exactly who he was. She's moving forward with her life, with legal protections in place, and a future that no longer includes Robert Cosby Jr. For Mary, the pain continues. A mother watching her son self-destruct, knowing she can't save him from himself. And for Robert, he's sitting in a jail cell, finally forced to confront the reality he'd been running from. His marriage is over. His freedom is gone. And the only person who can change his future is the one person he's refused to face in the mirror, himself. This is a developing story, and with a trial pending and a divorce moving forward, we know there is going to be a lot more coming out in the next few weeks. Make sure you are subscribed and have those notifications turned on so you don't miss the next update. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you believe Robert's lawyer when he says Robert has finally accepted reality? Or do you think we're going to see another headline about him violating this protective order? Sound off in the comments below. I read all of them. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.